entrepreneurial clinicians, it's me. Hello. It is almost 1:30 p.m. on Tuesday the 25th of August. Oh my gosh, it is almost the end of August. And I have enough brain space and enough energy to be able to come to you live today, which delights and excites me. So I'm hoping that some Aussies are having lunch and they kind of go, oh cool, Joe's available. And some of the people in the US are like, oh my gosh, Joe's live, that's really cool. I have missed doing these, but I have made a commitment to myself during this cancer treatment process journey, that I won't come out of obligation, I won't come out of guilt, and I won't come if I don't feel like I can add something of value. So this is not all about me, it's also about you, and I've got a pretty strong message today, so I'm looking forward to being able to share that. And I'm hoping that it will inform some decisions that I know health professionals need to be making and allow us to feel like we are connected. Linda Mottram, I am so grateful that you are here. I've been watching you participate in other communities online. You're having your lunch, zucchini and veggie slice. That is fantastic. Oh, Jill, you're here too. Yeah, yes, I'm here. I am definitely here. Thank you again so much to those of you who are reaching out to me and wondering how I'm going and how my treatment's going. Each round of chemo has been more difficult than the previous round. The cumulative effects of these drugs in your body is pretty painful. It's also really interesting as a chemotherapy patient at the moment when you're being educated about what to expect. You're given lots of information about how badly this could go and all the things that could kill you. You wonder why so many people who go through chemo end up with PTSD. That'd be one of the reasons. But then it becomes incredibly idiosyncratic that different things happen to different people, and you never quite know whether your side effects are bad enough to seek medical help around. So that's a part of my learning right now, and trying to educate my doctors on how they need to communicate with me. Oh, hey, Francis and Carol, lovely to see you both. So I have my final chemotherapy infusion on Friday, the 4th of September. I am not looking forward to it. I am incredibly grateful for Kylie, who is going to come along as my chemo buddy. And I have to work really hard at the moment to not count down the days until chemo, but go, what can I do today? Where can I go today? What's important today? Who can I inspire and encourage today? And those acts of activation of resilience for me are really important. So when I have got the energy to come live, I will. I'm hoping to record a couple of other episodes this week, so that because I am actually watching a lot of biobehavior, a lot of clinician behavior. I'm watching questions being asked, the way people are responding to questions being asked, and it's really interesting, some of the observations that I've been able to make. In terms of potential clients and prospective clients, Ernesto has asked me to run a webinar which is happening next week, where I'm going to be sharing some of those insights as to why you may be having difficulty connecting with people who are your ideal client, or why you can't get them to stick when they engage with you once. So I've got some really useful insights into what I'm seeing there. But today I want to talk into something else. I want to talk into us as a collective of people who have an incredible amount of responsibility at the moment as health professionals dealing with the world in COVID. So I am seeing so many blog posts being written, posts, just general posts, studies, memes, about the toll that COVID-19 is having on health professionals, and teachers and educators, but I really want to speak to health professionals. So I've made it quite clear in a lot of my communication. Oh, hey Jake, hey Ilsa, and Facebook have just told me that they're having trouble playing the video. What does that mean? Awesome. I don't quite know what to do with that. Can you still hear me? Have I disappeared? Is this a Facebook issue? I'll just let you all keep chatting while I try and work out what on earth I can do here. Wow. Just as I was going to get to the good stuff. Can anybody see me? Can anybody hear me? How bizarre. Still here. Am I there? You are fine. Okay, well, I'll just try and ignore what's going on. Okay, go on. You're good. Phew. Okay. Okay, this is just going to be really weird again. Okay. So there are a lot of health professionals talking about the fact that this is a really difficult time for health professionals. There's a lot of blogs being written, posts. We've now got studies being done. And I think we would all be inclined to agree that if you are working with human beings at the moment, it is a difficult time. That the types of issues that we're dealing with are heavy. There's this incredible COVID isolation issue going alongside a pandemic of mental health. And I really do think we're headed towards more suicidal behavior, which is really hurting my heart at the moment. And we as health professionals feel that stuff really keenly. So we're not only dealing with the underlying root causes that people would have come to us with issues around or problems with. We're doing it in the context of COVID. We're doing it in the context of them seeing all of this horrible stuff playing out in their lounge rooms all the time and being forced to do things. So whether it's schooling kids or being anxious or having to work and work bleeding into home time, and now your lounge room has become a workspace, become a home space, and I feel too guilty. I can't stop working all the time. And what are we as a collective of people going to do about this? Because I am now incredibly concerned that we are going to have more burnt out people in health professions, more burnt out people as health professionals. We're going to have more and more people leaving the profession. We're going to have people doing substandard work so that the people who need the help haven't got the people resources because we're not available. So I want to speak into this today. So I think blog posts are great. I think raising awareness about the impact this is having on health professionals is great. But I actually want to progress the conversation. Can we please progress it? Because every time I see another post about this stuff or another blog post about this stuff, I go, so what? What are we actually going to do about it? And so I told you this was possibly going to be a little bit confronting. So we all go, we need self-care, we need self-care, we need self-care. But what does that freaking mean? And how do you do it? And what is going to work for you? And is it good enough? How do you know that the self-care activities or mindset or actions that you're putting into place are actually helping you care for yourself, that you can turn up and keep doing this work in 12 months' time? So there's another way of answering this question. Can you keep going the way you're going for another 12 months? Because if the answer is, oh my God, no, Joe, then we now need to start making changes. We now need to start making changes. And we have not been in this situation before. I have not lived through a plague. I did live through the Great AIDS Scare, but I wasn't working then. I was a small child who was terrified of the Grim Reaper. But we as health professionals are being called to a higher standard where we're supposed to know what to do with everybody's mental health. We're supposed to know what to do with the crisis that results in 6 people suiciding in Australia every day. We are supposed to know what to do with that. We're supposed to know how to do this and run a private practice and homeschool our kids. We're supposed to know how to handle all of this. And I don't think we do. And I think it's unreasonable that we should. So I've seen a lot of responses, and because I told you I was watching, a lot of responses where people go, I'm reducing my caseload. I'm reducing my caseload. Well, that's awesome. I am in such a fortunate position where I can reduce my caseload. But that doesn't work for everybody because we have employment contracts where reducing your caseload is not going to make your boss happy. Or we can't, the financial implications of reducing our caseload are really significant. And that's okay, but you need to understand that. Because the systems it's all well and good to say more self-care, but how do we apply that to within the systems that we work? So having more time off is great, but there's financial implications for that. Having more time off is great, but there is implications for care on top of that. I've got a client at the moment who I engaged with just as I started chemotherapy. And she knew that I was going to have intermittent time when I was not available. And we agreed that I would be available 3 weeks, my treatment's every 3 weeks. So every 3 weeks I have to have a week off at the moment because I'm useless. But it's interrupting her progress. It's interrupting her progress. So we can take the I'm looking after myself route, which I was doing around making sure I'm not working when I'm not well enough to work. But then I'm watching the impact of that decision on her progress. Now I've got that sorted. I just bring that as an example of how just reducing your caseload or reducing your face-to-face time isn't going to always be the answer. Is really bugging me that I can't see myself talk right now. And then we have this desire to help. So if we see all these people hurting, if we're getting calls all the time and we can't keep up with it, and emails all the time and we can't keep up with it, and people reaching out to us on our social media platforms and we can't keep up with it, how is that sitting with us? Does it make you feel guilty? Does it make you feel like I want to do more? But then you kind of go, oh my God, I'm working so hard, I can't do enough. Because there's got to be a tipping point. And for those of us who have never been here before or haven't had to face this head on the way we're facing it now, what has worked in the past may not work for us right now. So we've got financial implications, we've got energy implications, we've got employment, we've got contractual implications. And they might not necessarily be contracts between an employee and an employer. They might be contractual obligations with an insurance company, or with an EAP provider, or with a health provider, where you have to turn up and you have to be available and you just have to deal with what's going on in front of you. But again, I ask the question, can you keep doing what you're doing the way you're doing it for another 12 months? Because all the blog posts in the world raising our awareness is kind of useless if we don't do something with this information. So what's our response going to be? Because we cannot wait around for the government to make changes, insurance companies to make changes, employers to make changes. Those are behemoths. They are not going to move. No, there's too many other things to think about. If we do not think about ourselves and we do not think about our professions as a collective, then seriously, if we wait for other people to do it, we'll be stuck with more rules and regulations that simply don't make sense when we're trying to provide patient and client care. So the people who need to stand up and take responsibility for this is us. There's no one left to do it. And this is what it takes in this day and age. You have to be responsible for the way you're going to do your work. You have to be responsible for what you can do and what you can't do. And it all sounds like this is all just a talk about boundaries. But it's bigger than that, because it penetrates our core beliefs that got us into this work in the first place. It turns everything we knew what to do and how to do on its head. So I think it's an important conversation, because if this conversation doesn't happen, then I'm going to be seeing all of you as rehabilitation counselling clients, because you're all going to be burnt out, stressed out, not in a really good place. And I don't want that for us. I really don't want that for us. So one of the things that I've noticed that comes across in all of the research for all of the people when trying to deal with the emotional burdens of providing care in this COVID environment is that we need community. Now, it's all well and good to say, I have community, I'm connected, I'm not isolated, I'm not connected. Yes, but health professionals, we need a community of like-minded people who get the work that we do. We need a community of like-minded people who will help us gain perspective. We need a community of people who won't just shame us into more self-care, but help us identify what that means, how we're going to implement it, and helping us stay accountable to it. We need a community around us that champions us, not only when we make successes and have big launches and do amazing things, but will also say things like, wow, you took a day off, that's awesome. Can we help you manage your client load? That would be fantastic. We need a community of people where we turn up week after week, or fortnight, every 2 weeks, or month after month, where we can feel engaged, supported, and like this is my place to belong. So if you don't have that and you're a health professional, well, please find it. I'm going to put a link below into a community that I know is delivering this for people in my world, because it is incredibly powerful and I'm watching how these people are interacting and I'm so honored to be a part of it. But I encourage you this week to find the type of community that doesn't let you hide, so it can't have hundreds and thousands of people, that allows you to voice your concerns and your opinions about yourself in a way that doesn't lead to shame, that allows you to have real conversations in real time where you look forward to turning up. Because anything else is calling yourself short. You will be hiding, you won't be getting the type of support that you need, and that worries me. So here I am talking about keeping us available, ready, healthy enough, fit for purpose, so that we can keep doing this for the long haul. So if you know that you need a community of like-minded people that have got your back, please reach out. If you don't want to do it publicly, you can do it by messenger. I've got a place that you can come. It's all okay, but there are so many places that you can go. And I would argue that a public Facebook group is not what I'm talking about. There you go. Said that out loud. All right, I am going to go. I've got a little bit more to do before my day ends. Wishing you a fantastic afternoon, evening, morning, whenever you're watching this. I am looking forward to sharing some more insights and observations with you. Thank you to everybody who turned up live today. I appreciate it. Jill Johnson Young, yes, no woo-woo stuff, real stuff, please. Carol, we need real relationships, but we need those relationships to be in a really safe place. So I thank you so much for your comments. I thank you so much for your encouragement of me, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you again. Until then, go be your awesome self.